Hello and welcome to this new episode of the 944 Porsche build, as you can see behind us. If you've been watching what we've been doing in the previous episodes, great. If you haven't, where have you been? The last episode we finished off with the engine in, the suspension in, and it's sitting on the floor. However, we had a problem with the camber, so I've had to cut the suspension, re-angle it and drop it down a little bit. So I've lost a day there, but that's fully welded in and sitting and rolling under its own weight, which is great. We then went and raided the workshop for more grips. As you can see, there's 10 clamping the wings on. This episode, you're going to be getting a little bit of everything. You're going to be getting some mechanical work, because we're going to get the steering rack in here, attached onto the chassis rails. The track rod ends on these run through the top of the suspension, not the bottom. Most cars, the steering rack's based on the bottom and run underneath the vehicle. This is at the top, so we're going to have a steering rack from left to right, connection in the middle, and a universal joint coming out just there, where it goes up into the steering wheel. So we're going to be fitting the steering rack and talking about steering racks. We're then going to be doing the bodywork. This is where things start to get interesting, because we can start putting our little flair on things. Yes, we need to get the original front end on and extend it by around about 8 inches. We'll reveal now this car is roughly going to be 8 inches longer, but also possibly 8 inches wider, which will be great. So the 8 inches is going to be made up of here and a little bit at the front, because we need to extend the front. We've got some issues as well to tackle with the front pop-up headlights. We're bouncing some ideas off how we're going to fit them, work them, what they're going to look like. This video mainly is going to be based around the fabrication and bodywork side of things, because once the front end goes back on, we've got to tackle a custom-made bonnet, because it's got to have a higher point in the middle to clear the engine, to also clear the air intake, and also the suspension top mounts that we've done. Then when all that's done, we've got some rust to repair around here, which I'm going to have to repair before we've finished fixing this wing on. So down there, sort of inside where your foot would be, where the pedal box is, on this corner, you can see it better down here, cameraman, we've got a bit of rust going on here. We're going to chop that out, replace that, and this here is the bracket and the connection for the braking system. We don't know what we're doing with the braking system, but I'm going to repair that and put the bracket back on, just in case we need to mount that back in. So quick rundown of what we're doing. We are going to be doing the steering when the parts come in. We've had to order the parts in. We've got the spare wings over there, because I want to use as much original wing as possible to get all this pretty much factory. We're going to get the wings on and then the front end on and get everything level and square. The bonnet will be at a later date. It's not really important right now. So when the wings is on, the front end's tacked on, and everything's literally just holding itself in place nice and neat. We're going to tackle that, and then we're going to start working from front to back with the underneath rust. We've got some rusty floors, rusty doors, rusty sills, and a little bit of work at the back. That is the plan for this video. Overall, it's going to combine about a 3-week build on this, but we're going to have the front end in, tackle the rust, and then it's going to be the cleaning stage, where I'm going to then be relieved a little bit, because it's going to be new stuff, clean stuff, getting the underneath cleaned, under sealed, then getting the outside body ready for paint. That is going to be very special. So stay with us. The steering racks, wings, front ends, holes in floors. There's a lot going on here. This is going to be a long one, but at the end of it, it's going to start looking like a 944 again with an RS4 engine in. I'm excited. It's moved from there to there. Urgent jobs come in for a friend. They've took over the lift, so we've used this time off the lift to finish stripping off the inside. So hopefully in the next couple of minutes we're going to be getting the seats out, which are only 6 bolts per seat, 2 connections for the electric part of the seats. The doors, I've just spent half an hour on my knees sweating, because normally there's a quick release for the door electrics. On this there is, but it's all the way in here and up here somewhere. 2 plugs, so I managed to get my hand in, pull them out. So hopefully 6 bolts per door, 6 bolts per seat. I'm going to lift them out. We have either tomorrow or Wednesday got a secondary bonnet coming for the extensions on the bonnet we need, and then 2 new doors. Same colour as this car, ironically, even though the car's not staying this colour, but they're the same colour, which is Guards Red, I think it is. So rust-free doors, we need to use whatever's on them doors and these doors to make 1 good door per side. But in the next sort of 10-15 minutes, which you'll see soon, we're going to be taking seats out. I'm going to maybe try and whiz that centre console out, get the carpet, because the carpet's splitting off, get that out, and that'll mean from this point backwards it's stripped except for the motor that's on a coil that goes and releases the 2 roof pins for your sunroof. Should be fully stripped then, because we are now prepping this for paint as well as doing other bits. But we need to start working backwards, getting all of the bodywork prep where it needs to be, all the holes filled that need to be. And I don't mean with filler, I mean with metal. A few points under the floor, obviously the sections at the front, get the nose cone on, get the arches sorted out. There's a hole in the rear here, I'll show you that so you can see that in that corner. Not the wheel arch hole, but there's actually a hole in the floor. That needs filling up, and a couple of little bits, not too much, but we need to get them all tidied up. We want to count down now to get this to the paint shop, because when it's at the paint shop it's out of my mind, and that means I can concentrate on sweating a little bit more. No, rebuilding the rear subframe, teaming up with the engine specialist, getting that revamped, cleaned up. Because as soon as it comes back from paint, which is still a long way away, I want in a matter of days to get the rear subframe up, the suspension back on, the brakes on, same for the front, so back rolling again. And then it's all about the electricals, the brake lines, the handbrake cable. Because on this as well, not a normal vehicle, your handbrake will be there. On here, it is down on the driver's side. I'll show you where it is. Going to cause another problem. I'm going to have to try and merge the RS4 handbrake cable in with a 944. So that comes along there. Well, in the floor, there's a little tube, comes out the back and then splits off on a 2-piece like they would normally do, the left and right wheel. So there's that to tackle, but as it stands now, because we can't get on the lift to do any more body work, we're now going to utilise the time to strip it. So let's get the seats out, let's get the door out, tune back in around about 2 minutes time on the camera, but about an hour and a half's time in real time. When the seats are out, the doors are off, and it looks, probably that would be the least amount of parts coming off, I think. I hope so anyways, but it'll be empty in front. And what I want to do is do a big reveal, because I don't yet know what's under these seats, and it's 38-year-old, so come back and see what's under the seats, because that might be the most exciting part of this whole video. Anyway, let's get cracking. We feeling strong?
Can be, yeah.
Right, taking this door off, I'm going to lighten that pallet, alright? You ready? Just slide it that way. Come on. Come this way with it. Come to me, come to me. That's it, fella. There you go, one door off.
What about the other one?
Right, we're going to have to come back next year for that one, because I think we're going to have to take the dashboard out. Each door's got a wiring loom, 2 plugs on it. Instead of having it somewhere about there where you can just pop them off and get the door off, I'm going to over-exaggerate, but I'm not. Both plugs are there, underneath that. So you've got to try and get your arm under and all the rest of it. But on this corner is the ABS wiring for your Bosch power steering and, well, brake servo, shit like that. Then there's another part of that system, which I ain't got a clue what it is, to be honest. It looks too new for the car. I've got to get that out of the way to get my hand under to pull the 2 prongs off. This is the important part, right, guys, when you're building a car. Remember how you've took it to bits, because I will put everything back together and then try and put the door on last and not be able to get my hand up. In a few months' time, when we come to that stage, you'll be able to remind us saying don't do it. But that's exactly what I'll do. I'll put it all back the reverse order, try and get that into there and plug it in, and it'll not happen because I haven't done it right. So I'm going to try and get the centre console out now, lift the seats out, so I can then technically take the dash out, but I didn't want to take the dash out right now. So shall we give the viewers a little treat? Okay. This is seat number 1. Guess in the comments what we'll find underneath. If anyone wants any Porsche 944 seats, I've got 2. What's in the seat? We've got some money. I think we'll be able to buy a chomp. There's a 45p. Might be able to buy one of them. Not anymore, they're about £1 now. Remember, they used to be 10 pence. Let's have a count up. I'm hoping I want to find some more bolts to put it back together. So in this seat, hey, it's £1. That's £1.
That's £1.
That's £1.
That's an old quid.
That's an old quid. Look at this. What was that programme called? We came out of Blackadder on.
Antiques Road.
No, flipping thingy time, wasn't it? Paul! Paul will know, he's ancient. What was it called? About history, they used to go and dig up Roman remains and that. Have them out of Blackadder on. Can't remember. Time Team, that was it. Time Team. Look at that. I've never seen out like it. That is a relic.
Paul says to tell you it's gone out.
Look at that, for a £1 coin. You'll never seen one of them, young lad. Come and have a look at this £1 coin. Did you lose it like back in the day? I've just said if Time Team found that, there'll be
When's it off like?
94, well, I reckon. Anyway, I found more money than what we paid for the car, in the car. Bargain. Shall we go and do the other seat? This is getting next. Scrap building cars, this is like flipping salvage hunters, this. Is there anything in that one? Oh, it's a spanner. I've got a spanner. 13mm spanner. And an old 2p. With a little bit of lime scale on it. Anyway, tune back in next week to see what we've dug out of this car. Anyway, how much is it worth? 5 grand for a pound coin? Shut up, man. I don't believe it. Jesus wept.
That's a coin.
Is there any more on there? This isn't a fluke or a wind up, is it?
Mate, as soon as I pick up and I'm lying on the back of that, I'm sure I'm saying
So's the eBay.
Turn it the other way, show them the other face of the coin.
So I'm doing it.
The lion. I need the lion.
I'm just on the line.
5 grand pound coin? Never. Throw it back,
He hasn't sold it.
throw it back in.
It's an under certified body, which makes it rare.
Is that the only one at that price? That means it's super rare. It's now 10 grand. Commemorative coin. 1994 memorable coin. Represents Scotland.
Coin is no longer legal tender either, so you can't even use it.
Super rare now.
Super rare, worth 100 grand.
Oh, it does. It actually says that on there. Non-listed. We're starting to take the dash out. It's been out before, which is a bit harder work because we're missing screws and all the rest of it, but I've just took the instrument cluster out, and in all fairness, for a 37-year-old car, it's technically all electrical. Normally you'd have a speedo drive cable in there and stuff like that, but you haven't. It's all electric. I don't like the front, the lens is coming off like, but never mind. The clocks are out, the wheels off, the vents are out. There's a handful more bolts to take out and then it should lift out. Starting the video, I did say that we're going to do body work. That's still the case, but because of other things and the ramp being busy, which we've done that job now, that's gone out the door. I've worked into getting everything stripped out so we can just lash on with the body work from front to back, or back to front, or in the middle, wherever we're going to start and finish it. But me and Paul's going to tackle the wings, the front end, and then do all the rust elements. Once that's done, it's then prep work for paint. Then we can start putting all the nice bits on it, if you know what I mean. We're starting to work with something that's clean. At the moment, there's still loads of rust and garbage to clean up. But we're doing the dash, we're doing the interior. So at the end of this video, depending how cameraman splits it up, there might be a two-parter. But we will be flowing into getting the bodywork finished, getting the panels on, getting the bonnet custom built, getting the remedial repair works for all the old rust completed, and then we'll be moving on to the video after that. Will be paint prep, which is very exciting. We also, behind the scenes, just planning other bits that we need for the actual build: seats, steering wheel, wheels. Getting in touch with a load of supplies for that, because obviously we don't want to be cut short where we haven't prepared for that. So yeah, it's starting to get some rhythm now, and it is actually rolling as we speak. So there we go. That's as far as it's rolling, but it's rolling. I'm happy with it. The little bits are frustrating, trying to get me 22 stone get big ass in here and out all the time, but we're making progress. We're getting there. We're getting to the end result of the garbage work, and then we can start having some real fun. So yeah, I'm still a bit passionate. I was a bit down yesterday. I've picked myself up a bit. I'm inside the vehicle, we're taking screws out, and I'm very surprised with the build quality of 37 years ago. Quite impressive, Porsche. I'll give it to you. Now there it is, it?
Good.
Yeah, I've got it. Not double glazed, that is it? No. I'll not put that 800 quid for a new one. I'm just going to leave it out. Big air vent. Just have two old-fashioned goggles on.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning. Bodywork is on pause for the time being, due to needing to get the windscreen out, which is now out. That come out this morning. Dashboard come out yesterday afternoon. Rest of the day we're going to get the rest of the steering column, ventilation, blowers, and the electrical and the connectors out in one go, fingers crossed. I don't want to unclip them all, so they all come loose. At the moment they're all in the place roughly where they go when everything goes back in. Get that off to about here, and then pull the wiring loom back through, try and keep everything as complete as possible to make our job a lot easier when we put everything back together. That is the plan. But with the dash out, we can get repair work started on the top of the dash where the cracks, get them filled in, sanded. Then we're going to probably suede the top of the dash and the lower of the dash. The dash itself in alright condition. We just need to cover the cracks up, sand them, and then obviously put some four-way stretch suede on it, and hopefully it'll look beautiful. But we're going to be doing that whilst other things are happening here. We've chose what colour we're doing the underneath and the inside, so when we get all the bodywork done and get everything clean, we will be doing that on site here, masking off, ready to take to the body shop to get obviously the top of the orange paint on the car. So yeah, bit of a twist this one, bit of a lie at the moment, because I said what we're going to do at the start of the video. That's not really happening, but we've got to make progress elsewhere to get what we need on that side of things done as well. So yeah, a lot of fiddly bits, but hopefully by tomorrow morning the car will be in its lessest state. Does that make sense? So everything's off it, and then what we're doing then is slowly putting everything back on, nice and neat, tidy, and repairing some things that we need to along the way. So yeah, hope you're enjoying the video. I'm not, because it's flipping hard work climbing in there. I feel like I've been run over by an elephant, but that's the joys of car building. Definitely had a story or two here, because that filler that's in there is about as dense as my head. There's quite a bit of filler going on there. But anyway, we're just working our way around the car now when we're waiting for Slow Coach to do his wing. Once again stopping the progress of the 944. But it is hours away from being at its lowest state of anything fitted, so everything will be out. And I'm taking literally everything out. And then we can start clearing up and stop looking like I'm homeless in the next couple of weeks. And hopefully the fun start will happen. The fun stuff will happen. The fun stuff will happen when we start getting the wings on, the front end back on, and the bonnet on, and then the custom bonnet made, and then the custom wings and arches made. That's where, if you've watched us from the start, it'll pay off, because we'll start inventing stuff that's never been invented before. I've got a plan in my head and I'm going to go with it. I've had people try and change your mind, drop other ideas in. No, I'm going with what's in here, and it's going to look really good, I hope, anyway. But yeah, a lot of dirty work to do now, which will lead us on to all the fun stuff. Stay tuned, it might get a bit boring, but I promise the end result's going to be worth it. Right, update of updates. Last time you seen us, I think we still had the dash in, or possibly the dash out, but the heater matrix still in. That's out. So the heater matrix at the top, that's been took out. The blowy valves have come. What the hell? Blowy valves. Blowy fans, they have come out. Steering rack's out. Wiring loom's out. God forbid when I've got to try and unravel that and sort that out. But anyway, I'm going to forget that exists for the time being. We have, over the last 24 hours, got the wings back on, got the supports back on at the correct sizes, shimmied the bonnet, we've chopped the bonnet, because that is how wide the scoop's going to be. 1.1 metre wide, biggest scoop in history. So we're going to do that. But if you have a look around the back, cameraman, if you imagine you're sitting and you're driving like this behind us, the scoop isn't going to look that bad. I've got my visions and I think it's going to flow lovely. Paul is working on that wing. We're going to cut some more 1mm infill panels. I'll come round and show you what we've done with the wing. This wing doesn't look that complex, but it is. You look down there at the curves, it's got about 4 different curves going on it. hence why we've got the spare wings to get this part out of it, because there'll be no way that we could then remake that. Better just cut it out, patch it in. That's going to get dressed off lovely, nice and shiny, ready for some filler primer and all the rest of it. But that is going to be the scoop of scoops. It's going to be the biggest scoop ever. I can't wait to get the nose cone back on, the bumper can go back on, and then we'll work our way to the rear. Sort the sills out, sort the hole in the floor out here. Simple patch job, cut that out, get that in. I've been working on inside, getting this cleaned, ready for the interior paint work. So we're just getting rid of all the rest of the sound deadening and insulation. So that's all nice and clean. This now has more RS4 parts on it than Porsche parts, which is great. I'm just dotting around where I can on the rust bits to check it out. Lovely little join there, see that there? A little bit of bronze there. That's where it's been joined. Proper welding back in the day, we don't see that anymore. But look, there might be a little sort of stroke of luck that might be only how much we're extending it. We were going 10 inches, we might get away with 5.5 inches, 145 mil-ish. If I can get the nose cone back on without interfering with the front of the engine. It isn't really going to have a slam panel on. The slam panel, due to it coming out further, we're going to put extensions on here. That's why I put the bolt on, so we can just put a bolt on sort of leg. So 2 legs are going to come out. Just in case we do crash, the engine will be knackered, but at least it's going to hit the extended chassis rails we put on first and not crumple back. But that is going to be rock solid, that is, when we're finished with it. But yeah, that's the update at the moment. It's been not a slow week, because I have had to spend multiple hours getting the rest of that wiring loom out and the dashboard. 37-year-old, highly complex car for its age. But yeah, the bodywork build continues. Let's crack on, let's get the wings on, the bonnet done, the front end on. It's going to look awesome. I'm starting to see my vision now come to life. And when we start to flip the colour as well and totally change the colour, it's going to pop even more. A lot of bodywork's been done, a lot more to continue with. Progress has been made. I have stripped the front skin off the nose cone, slam panel, whatever it's called. We're going to get that welded back on the arches. That's going to join the car from left to right back into one piece. Friday afternoon, I worked my magic on this bit. Doesn't look too pretty here, but I had to put a plate in here, form it round to the curve, and then whilst I was doing that, realised there was a hole behind the sealer used by Porsche. So then I had to cut another bit out and form that round. When we get that blended in and our underseal back on, she'll look good as new, strong as an ox. We've still got this to finish off, this to finish off, exactly the same on the other side, but I need to get the front nose on to tie everything together to make sure all our gaps and alignments are correct. So that's what we're going to be working on over the next few days to make sure it's all done and dusted. Once that's done, it's remedial works. It's all the old bits that we need to rectify. Get new metal in, get it all treated and get it all prepared for paint. So yeah, exciting times ahead. Nose job complete. Don't have to go to LA for a nose job. Chesterfield, I'll sort your nose out in half an hour. There you go. Anyway, we've got some shape up front now. What we're going to do next, we're going to strengthen this up, get rid of the garbage in the middle, make a bit of a slam panel, whatever it's called, because that was attached to that big lump there. So if there was any impact, it would have stopped before hitting the engine. Unfortunately, if we do have a head-on crash, this engine is gone. But I'm not worried about that because I'm a good driver and I'm not going to crash. Quite a bit of progress done, but for me, not that much. Visually, the nose is on. Supports have been made for the chassis rails. They've come off either side here, bolted on. Next job is to make a slam panel. I'll bolt onto the bottom of that one. That's going to sprag, come along, and then on the other side, tie it all in nice and tight. Just going to stop any impact hitting the front of the engine, potentially damaging the pulleys and the belts and stuff like that. So that is the next job. But as it stands, the car now is joined back together, front and rear. Quite happy with it. I'm starting to get excited because we're seeing the shape of it. But yeah, overall, been a long day today, tiring day. A lot of just guesswork, working out and trying to make things fit and still give us optimal space in there. There's a lot of wiring to do, and also get the lights back in as well, which is the biggest problem, but we'll work around it. Next job is slam panel, tidy up the welds, get everything flushed off, and she's starting to look like one now. Today, slam panel, bolted up, welded up, solid, happy days. I'm going to get my little friend Giordino to get the old bumper down, and we're going to just possibly just tape it on, just to make sure it fits all right. And that's going to be the end of this episode, because there's a lot more bodywork to do. So, stay tuned to see if we can get the front end on. We have completed bodywork. We haven't done everything we wanted to, because once again it escalated into bodywork, this, that and that, steering rack. Steering rack still isn't in, but the nose is on. It looks like a 944 now. Come back again next week, where you're going to see some more bodywork and hopefully a steering rack turn up. But yeah, the front end is there. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't watched the other previous 8, this 8, go and watch them, because that, a handful of weeks ago, didn't exist. The front end was gone. So if you haven't seen that part, go back, re-watch them, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends how stupid I am for trying to complete this. But we're getting there, aren't we?